So all those dope cinematic shots that you just saw have something in common. Someone actually took those videos, which means I was not traveling alone there. Now, for the past 4 years that I've been traveling and living abroad, half of my trips have actually been by myself. So for those who don't know me, my name is Fonsi and I'm a travel blogger from Spain. And in this video I'm gonna make sure to give you all the goods and the bads about solo traveling, and I'll make sure I give you all the reasons why you should definitely try it at least once. So one of the reasons why I love traveling solo is because you don't have to depend on someone else's schedule. You know, when you're free, you can just book a ticket to wherever you want to go and even go to one of those destinations that only you care about. This was actually the reason why I started traveling solo, and even though I got way more than that from it, my main motivation back then was to finally go to all those places that I was dying to go, and that I never found the perfect time to go with my friends or my family. Now, let's face it, traveling around the world is not always that picture perfect moment from social media. You know, you'll go through situations like, in my case, I've lost my passport on my way to the airport, I got stuck in some of the sketchiest areas of some cities, and I even got my credit card swallowed by an ATM the day before I had to come back to my home country. Now, I don't wish any of that to happen to you, but those situations are very common, and you have to keep in mind that if you're traveling alone, you'll have to face all those situations by yourself. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest things about traveling alone. You will not only grow as a traveler, but it will also make you more streetwise and aware of your surroundings. So the first time I traveled solo was a very defining moment in my life as a traveler. I remember I was completely alone. There was no family, no friends, and I was in a completely different country with a different language. And it was a very scary moment, to be honest. And all I could think of at that moment was, what the hell am I doing here? But trust me, once you're on your way to the hotel, once you take your trains, you know, once you start exploring the city or going for some food, you're gonna forget about all those fears. So we're shooting this in this place called
Escola Industrial.
Yeah, that's my friend Cesc. So I've been recording with him. Yeah.
I'm not in the doesn't know how to record because now.
Oh, okay. My first big solo trip was to Sweden, and I remember going there for 4 days. And my initial plan was just to explore the city of Stockholm and just get a taste of Sweden. But it finally turned out to be one of the most fun and memorable trips of my life. There was a festival going on, and I remember I went from a party to another party, and I ended up in this university. It was about 30 minutes away from Stockholm center. I remember waking up the next day and just thinking, wow, I'm here in a place that I never thought I was gonna go, you know, with these new friends that I have now. And they told me to go to this place called Boxholm, which is a small town in an island of the Stockholm archipelago. So this was a tiny island with the craziest landscapes, and it has this castle. And I remember I took the ferry to the castle, and it was kind of a castle with a lot of war weapons. It was a very nice building with a museum inside, and I remember being there almost by myself. So I had the whole castle for me, and I remember going to the edge of the castle, just sitting there watching the sun go down over this Swedish lake. I really want to come back to that place with my friends and family, but it's not gonna be the same, because that moment was only there for me. It was only one moment that can't be repeated. Now, one of the things that I hear all the time when talking about traveling alone, it's security. And I hear a lot from female travelers who are trying to travel solo, but I'm not sure about doing it because of the security. And I'm telling you, this comes with being very streetwise. So you have to really know where areas you are traveling on. Okay, this spot looks kind of sketchy. But yeah, I gotta wait here for the bus for 15 minutes and I'll finally be able to get some sleep. So make sure to inform you which areas are safe to travel. One of the main things that can happen to you while traveling and that you have to be aware of is pickpocketers. Now, in a city like Barcelona, where I am right now, it's so popular. So in my experience, I've never got robbed, but a lot of friends of mine, especially tourists, they have been robbed. A lot of friends have lost their phone, their wallets, and that's why it's so important that you have both of your hands on your pockets with the phone and your wallet in a safe place and being able to touch it and to feel it, because those pickpocketers won't rob you in a violent way. They will be just very sneaky and try to get your stuff in a way that you won't even notice. So make sure you are aware of that and make sure you have your stuff secured. So one of the things I was completely scared of when I started traveling alone was the loneliness. And I feel like a lot of people think that traveling alone means being completely alone or not being able to socialize, and that's completely false. While traveling alone, I've made some great friends, like my friend Dennis. So where are we going?
We're going to a Prague castle.
Yeah.
How we're trying to find a way.
Yeah, we're hiking up this hill, those stairs.
And we are not sure that there will be an entrance. Like
Yeah.
from another side.
We don't even know. I met Dennis actually in a hostel, which I think that's one of my biggest tips would be stay in a hostel. Now, staying in a hostel is a very good idea if you're traveling solo, and that is because this way you'll be able to socialize. For those who don't know, a hostel is one of those accommodations where you stay in common rooms, you have a kitchen, you have a common space where you can socialize, and it's mostly very cheap. In Central Europe, I remember a few months ago I did a trip around Central Europe and I was paying around 10 to 15 euros a night, so it can be really cheap. So this pier here, it's called Aquatic Park Cove, and it has some of the best views of San Francisco. If you look around, you can see the city of San Francisco, one of the best views of Alcatraz, and the Golden Gate Bridge, although it's covered with this kind of like cloud over here right on the bridge, so you can't actually see it, but it's in there. Another very important thing about traveling alone, a great thing about traveling alone, it's that you can do whatever you want. You can use your time as you want, and I feel like when you travel with friends, it's a little bit more difficult. You try to please everyone, and everybody wants to do whatever they want. I love traveling with my friends or with my family, but you know, traveling alone allows you to take some time on your best spots. You know, I love advertising. That's where I started. So one time I was in London and I spent the whole day on an advertising museum. So yeah, doing whatever you want, it's definitely something that traveling alone will allow you. At the end of the day, there's so much you can get by traveling solo, the friendships you make, being able to fully connect with yourself, and being able to grow as a person and a traveler. It won't always be a happy ride, but there is a thing that I can assure you, and that is that you will never know if you don't give it a chance. So guys, I hope you liked this video about solo traveling. There's gonna be a lot of videos with travel tips like this one, but there's also gonna be a lot of travel vlog style videos which are coming next about my adventures around the world. So make sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and see you in the next video.